All right, guys, I got my friend Caff here. She has worked with us now. Caff, how long have you worked here now?
I want to say it'll be 3 years. I think 3.
I think so too.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
It's been 3 years.
With everything going on in our world, Caff, I would just love for you to share. I know we've been processing for a few days. I know this doesn't come lightly, so we're super thankful. I would love to hear your heart.
I really wasn't sure if I wanted to do this when you first asked me to, and or to see if I wanted to, and when all of this occurred, it just I really didn't know how to process it in a way that wouldn't seem like I didn't care, or like, oh, this is just another day, because it really wasn't. And to wake up Tuesday morning, and the first image I see when I log on to Facebook was that still. And I immediately logged off, because I knew if I were to scroll any further down my page, that was all I was going to see. But it was kind of too late because I saw the still, it was with me. Just seeing this policeman kneeling and this African American man on the ground, it is apparent that he's not alive. Even without reading the headline, it was a very evident picture. And all day, all I can see was his face. And I also saw my brothers, and I saw my nephews, and I saw my uncle. And at the end of the day, I saw myself down there. Having never really come in contact with such blatant racism and hatred, it hit me a whole lot differently, because I just never really felt it the way I felt it going into the day. And as the week progressed, I just experienced nightmares and terrors. I was looking over my shoulder as I drove, as I walked into my apartment, as I got out my car to pretty much do what I'd done daily. But there was just an added weight. Even though I know there are good policemen out there, I still felt very angry at them. Because if you're such a good cop, why aren't you stopping the bad ones? Why are you speaking out against all of this? And it's like, if you know of, and I've heard this example before, but it's true, if you know that a child is being abused at home, you know for a fact that a child is being abused, it's your responsibility to report it. And a lot of people these days do report it to DHS, and then suddenly you have kids who are removed from their homes out of those bad situations. So how is it different that when you know of your fellow policeman or policewoman conducting these kinds of behaviors, how is it that you won't report them? We have a staff meeting, so
we're going to continue this conversation.
We will continue this conversation.
I promise you, because what she's saying is so good. Okay, so we left off last time with you processing everything that's going on. Is there a verse or something the Lord has spoken to you?
So I was going through the Word last night, and I was trying to look for examples and some kind of encouragement that would benefit not just African American men and women who may be watching this, but also anyone that has been affected by any form of injustice at anyone's hand, and felt like their voices have not been heard. And so he took me to Luke.
Oh, she about to preach again.
Took me to Luke. Now this is Luke chapter 2 verses 1 through 7. It's the message. So
you're liking this angle of yourself?
I really am. Girl,
okay, your lighting's good.
I know.
I was like, I'm just like moving it. Like, look at that light hitting her.
I know.
Tess, this is my good camera skills.
All right. Luke 12, verse 1 through 7. By this time, the crowd, he's talking to his disciples. By this time, the crowd, unwillingly and stepping on each other's toes, numbered in the thousands. But Jesus' primary concern was his disciples. He said to them, "Watch yourselves carefully so you don't get contaminated by the Pharisees' yeast, Pharisee phoniness. You can't keep your true self hidden forever. Before long, you'll be exposed. You can't hide behind a religious mask forever. Sooner or later, the mask will slip and your true face will be known. You can't whisper one thing in private and preach the opposite in public. The day's coming when those whispers will be repeated all over town." And I feel like that's exactly what has occurred with God is definitely shining a light on something that has been a very dark presence in American history. I'm speaking to you as dear friends. Don't be bluffed into silence or insincerity by the threats of religious bullies. True, they can kill you, but then what can they do? There's nothing they can do to your soul, your core being. Save your fear for God, who holds your entire life, body and soul, in his hands. What's the price of 2 or 3 pet canaries? Some loose change, right? But God never overlooks a single one. And he pays even greater attention to you, down to the last detail. Even the numbering of the hairs on your head. He knows how many hairs I have left, But get this, okay? This is very, very important, especially right now for those that are out there protesting, those that are out there standing their ground and their guard against this systemic racism that, because God says so, will be demolished. Don't be intimidated by all this bully talk. You're worth more than 1,000,000 canaries. I love all of you guys. Keep having the conversations. Keep fighting the good fight. Like I say, I'm not a fighter in, the sense of putting up my but I have your back. And I will pray and I will do whatever I can on my end to ensure change. So, thank you, Jess, for the opportunity to share.
Yeah, of course, girl.
And
thank you for doing this.
My
heart was definitely, we want to leave room and space. We don't want to just have one conversation. We have these conversations, at work. But I think we as employees and as a Dream Center and every Arkansan, I think we need to do a better job of making more space for this topic. I think you hit it on the head earlier, Caff. There's so much evil going on in the world, and the Christians don't have the conversations. It's just like if you're about to go to war, you're going to know your enemy. You're going to know what you're preparing for. You're going to know why you're suiting up. And we go out every day to help social economical differences. We try to go out and feed and to help people maybe that are dealing with poverty in the moment. Maybe those who weren't given a level playing field. Yeah. And so in that, we have to have these hard conversations so that we are better prepared for the battle. And so, we as an organization are we've been missing the mark too. And I think you nailed it, Caff, was saying we're finally silent. I was talking to Tess and I was like, why is it now that the scales are removed from our eyes and we can see? Yeah. And yes, that's emotional when you can finally see in color and really know what's going on. But I'm so thankful we can see even though it hurts. Yeah. And it's going to give us more room to have these conversations so that we can attack the enemy who is constantly trying to kill, steal, and destroy unity. It's hard to have real talk.
It really is.
Let me just show y'all. When you got Instead of taking notes, because 2 women are speaking in here about Jesus, the men are playing hard.
They are.
I'm telling you, we laugh hard here.
We do.
But we do have good conversations.
We really do.
So thank you, Caff, so much. I know it's been a process.
And it still is.
Oh, I know.
So,
Well, we'll probably bring her back because she was ready to preach. So we need some more
I really
Amos
wasn't ready. That
and
was all
Luke.
the Lord. Yeah, Luke 12, people.
Love
1
you.
through 7, the message.
Love you, Caff.